Good evening, everyone. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Max's Man Cave. I'm here with my good friend Josh McDonald, and he has a YouTube channel that you can find in the description, Pop by Culture. But tonight's going to be a fairly short, pretty quick live stream. We're excited to have everyone here, but we also know that the Jets Steelers game is going on as we speak. They've got Russell Wilson in as quarterback at the Steelers, and they've got um, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers' new trade and Devontae Adams, I think. So we'll see. We'll see if the Jets can pull out a win tonight. And I know that I just lost like half my viewers because they're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, football."
are you a Jets fan? Is that why we're talking about the Jets?
No, I find it
Okay.
hilarious that Aaron Rodgers has been kind of a diva since he's gotten there. He fired the head coach, and now he's demanding that Devontae Adams come back and play for them. So like the Jets had to make a trade, and I'm interested to see if they win. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just like I'm interested. So
Yeah, I listen, if it's not rugby, I mean, I don't know if I know what's going on. I just
no, that's fair. That's fair. Do you have a football team like an NFL or college team?
I mean, college I've kind of always rooted for A&M because that was
Okay.
originally my plan was to go to A&M, and then I did a semester of college and I was like, F this nonsense. Like, why am I
Yeah.
paying this much money for an education when all of my brothers have gotten degrees and then they're not even using their degrees? So I kind of noped out of that, pissed my parents off, and then made more money than all my brothers. So,
That's a
I
good
think
point.
after that they were okay with it. But I don't have time to keep up with football. Like if it's on, I will sit there and I'll watch it, and I enjoy
Yeah.
watching it. Ollie's coming around.
Oh boy,
Um,
I heard the
the jingle,
jingling.
yeah, he's gonna come stare at me. He just had a treat. He better lay his butt down. But yeah, just time to keep up with football and try to watch all the teams. I don't have time for it. So
No, that's fair. It's totally understandable. Um, but it is funny though, right? Because we're pretty nerdy. We have nerd channels that talk about pop culture, industry news within like entertainment and comic books and graphic novels and video games and all that good stuff. So like we talk about like different artists and creator names or different creator team ups and different things like that, characters and lore. And I'm listening to how football fans talk about football. And dude, they're nerds. Like football guys who like football, who are like into fantasy football and like love this and that, they're freaking nerds. Like their nerd thing is just different than ours. So I find it fascinating. The other thing too was like I was at can I say this on YouTube? I was at a store that sells firearms this weekend. So I was there, and
if you
I
get docked on YouTube for saying that, I'm gonna freaking riot.
I was about
Like,
to say, I don't
what
think
the
that should
heck?
be controversial, but at the shop, at the I guess I'll call it the range. I was at the range, and, at the range, I'm listening to 2 guys talk about different models of handguns and things like that, and I'm like, "Bro, we're all just bunch of nerds." Like, all of us are just nerdy. Because you know how, like, when you're in the comic shop and you have the one guy who just I've done this before where I'll just kinda stand there and I'm like, "I've got time to kill and, like, I really don't have anything planned tonight, so I'll just talk shop." Like, yeah, talk shop with my comic shop owner, and I'll just be like, Are you reading anything cool, man? Do you have any, like, any good, recommendations that you've read recently? How's the family?" Like, I'll just, BS with him, and that's what this guy was doing at the range, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I like this I like this model, but they just came out with a new thing, and, what SIG is doing with this new model is that they're gonna have." And I'm just like, "We're all a bunch of nerds, we just have different things," but,
Yep,
yeah.
agreed. Guys, look. for the most part, guys are like very simple human beings. You
Yeah.
know, like just we'll go work, we'll do that. Just let us have our like peace and quiet nerd time. Tell us what you want from us. That's why I don't get like so many women have this mentality of like, oh, I'm gonna make you work for it. I'm like, why? You know, like you don't. There's no need for that. There's
No
absolutely
need.
no need for that. Let us have our time, and then we'll be like, all right, thank you for that hour. Let's. What do you want to do? You want Target? You want Pumpkin Patch? Yeah, let's go. We'll
Pumpkin
go.
spice pumpkin patch. You want photos of the pumpkin patch? Let's go. We'll do it right now. Yeah. So, yeah. What do they always say? Ladies, be his peace. There's
Yeah,
sometimes where you just need to let him be his peace.
I actually got
Um.
I got sent pictures. Well, I don't know why I'm doing air quotes. I got sent
Oh,
pictures today. Oh, from what I refer to as my other Marine, Travis, my other friend this
oh
morning.
yes. Yeah.
But he and his wife and their new baby went and had their pumpkin patch pictures taken. So I got some
Very nice.
pictures today of that, and then a
Very
very
nice.
unhappy baby sitting in a pumpkin.
Oh no. That poor kid. Why'd they do that to that baby? Gosh dang it. Well, to start off the night right, we've got Zaxx, a member for 29 months. Dude, thank you so much. 30 months, about to come up here pretty soon. 30 months. He says car people are also nerds. That's a good point, actually. Like car people, motorcycle, like any auto, like any mechanical, anything like that. You've got engineering nerds, like they will talk your ear off if they have the opportunity to. So, pretty sick though, man. But well, Zax, thank you for that. And because we were just talking about rugby, the next closest thing that I can think of is half naked gentlemen fighting a war. So this one's for you.
No mercy!
Cheers, Zaxy Poo. Thank you again for your membership, brother. So while we're on the football topic, though, I do got to shout out my boys in purple, in the royal purple. Abilene Christian, baby. Woo, woo. We won our last game. It was like 42 to 30 something. So Abilene Christian doing well this year. We're all right. We're top 20. We're ranked top 20 in our like league, in our division. We're Division 1 AA. So you know what? I'll take it. That's not too bad. They just had their homecoming game, and that was a big win. But the big win this week, the big one this week, go Big Orange. Woo! Tennessee, baby. So we beat Alabama, the Alabama. Now, granted, they obviously they do not have their previous head coach, so Bama is not as good as when they had, what's his name? But no, that was a huge win for Tennessee. Um, I'm a big fan of Rocky Top, so my dad went to Tennessee, so I was like, okay, I can get behind this. And it has probably some, if no, you know what? I'll amend my statement. I was about to say one of, it is, it has the most beautiful women of any college campus ever. Just like I've never ever seen more naturally beautiful women ever in my life than on the Tennessee campus. So there you go. Thank you, Cajun. Yeah, Nick Saban. Nick Saban. They Bama's not or doesn't have him anymore, so it's kind of not as world renowned. But I mean, they're still good. I mean, they were ranked number 7. Tennessee was number 11, and we took the win, baby. It was a close game. Oh, where's my whistle? Yeah, it was a close game. My dad was, I think, before Manning, but that's why he was a big fan of Peyton Manning, of course, because come from Big Orange. IU is still undefeated. Speaking of close game, that was a close game too. But yeah, good to see Kyle, not Kevin. Are you still with Comics Elite? Kyle, not Kevin. I think you need to change this to like Kyle, not Kevin with MVP
Yeah.
or something.
Right.
This shouldn't be here. Get rid of it. Dude, who doesn't like Peyton Manning? Such a football name, Peyton Manning. And maybe one of the best centers of all time who worked for, or who was Peyton Manning's center, Jeff Saturday, who's now a NFL commentator. But yeah, Jeff Saturday was like my hero growing up as a center, because he wasn't the tallest or the biggest. He was just freaking tough and strong and smart as hell. So Jeff Saturday and Peyton Manning at the Colts. Kyle, not Kevin, you've got to know Jeff Saturday because he was a Colt for a while. All right, enough football.
Do we think that's his real name, Jeff? Like, is Saturday or is that?
I think that's his. Like on his jersey, it said Saturday.
Okay.
So I think that's his real name. So
real quick before you move on from football, I can't remember if I sent you this, but since we're discussing football and intelligence, did I send you that video of Gronk on Match Game?
Oh no! Oh my gosh! I think you did.
Okay.
I don't know if I have it.
You need to go.
I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I could pull it up.
Oh no!
On Instagram.
Yeah, it was on Instagram. So I don't know if you could pull it up, but you have to go watch it. And if you guys haven't seen it, go find it because it's hilarious. The dude's a dumbass. Like, he's a freaking moron. I say that with love.
Who do you think is? Who do you think has more brain rot, Bosa or Gronk?
Gronk, because Bosa sounds stupid by the way he speaks,
but he's actually kind of.
But he reads a lot. So he's like, if you find his stuff, he'll talk about books that he's read and then how it impacted him or if he didn't like it. So there's at least some intelligence there. Now, whether or not he can think for himself, that could be a different story. But like, Gronk doesn't know what a jack-o'-lantern is. Or a cheetah. I'm just putting it out there.
Oh, Gronk. Oh my God. You know what? I do have it. Here, let me play it. This will be our last football topic, I promise. Oh. Can you hear that?
It's like a skeleton.
A scarecrow?
No.
A Jack the Ripper.
No, so close.
Pass.
It's
the sprinting African animal with the spots.
Tiger.
Flaming hot Cheeto.
No. A tiger. He's so confident.
What's the animal? He's really fast. Pass.
He's fast and he couldn't get Cheetah. Gronk.
It's like a shooting star. Flies across the sky.
Shooting.
Pass.
It's one by itself. It's a type of animal, and
Rhinoceros.
No.
Pass.
Rhymes with porn.
These.
Oh no. Why was that the first thing that came to his head was like porn? Unicorn porn.
Porn.
Triangular shaped things. They build them. They're huge.
Huts.
Huts. They're huge. And they're triangles. Huts are triangles and they're huge.
Animals have humps on their back.
Canoe.
Oh my! This man did not just say canoes.
He did. He did. Oh God.
Canoes.
Canoes. I'm just gonna start shouting that randomly.
The continent where the Nile runs.
Egypt.
The continent, not the Egypt is in the big old place. I am blank American. I'm blank.
If you got Michael Strahan being like, "This boy is dumb."
Yep.
Blank American.
Africa.
African.
African.
That boy was about to say African American.
No, Dominic, this is not a bit. This is just he's dumb.
I wish it were a bit.
I wish.
Actually, no, I don't, because it makes it that much more funny. So
true.
Yeah.
There's this. My other favorite clip of him is when he did the rap battle on MTV with oh gosh, I can't think of her name. It's the actress from Jane the Virgin. This like tiny, petite little Mexican girl who looks like she's just sweet as can be, and she mopped the floor with him.
With a rap battle, you said, or what was it?
Yeah, Gronk. Yeah, it was Gronk and her in a rap battle.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Shoot.
funny. Anyway.
Well, that was fun. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't get a chance to watch that at first. So, but I do want to shout out Zaxx. This is 100% true, man. And I love this. Jeff Saturday proved just how important centers are and probably got everyone a raise. I hope so. Because, dude, centers are really the quarterback of the offensive line. Like, they have to call, like, if they call a linebacker or call a shift in the O-line, like, that's on them. They're seeing they may even be able to see the defense better than some of the quarterbacks. So I don't know, man. Centers are big time. So, and Jeff Saturday was one of the best. So all right. Well, Josh, before we get to our main topics for tonight, I wanna show you something real quick. And I want to get your take. I want to get your opinion.
Are you wanting to get my take? Is there a reason? Okay. Well, let's just see.
Yeah, I think I'm just more curious, right? So this is Ryan Kinnell's channel. Right? We've talked about Ryan before. So here's Ryan. Here's Yellow Flash. Right? So this is Yellow Flash's channel. Here's John Delarose. You know, John Delarose has a channel, and this is his channel. What's the difference? What's the difference between any of these?
Yeah, and not much.
I don't mean to say that as like an a-hole or like, oh, these guys suck. Like, I'm just wondering, like,
look, we often, even here we often talk about echo chambers, but echo chambers exist everywhere, and these guys are very much kind of in the same thing. And look, I'm sure when you're doing this, you're having to work quickly. They got their template, they did it, but they just all happen to look the same.
Do you notice anything about any of these? Like, I mean, it's because the first thing I notice is just like the big black bar with they hate you or this sucked balls or whatever, and then just like a goofy photo. Now, I don't know if Ryan was kind of the first to start this, because granted, it looks like he is putting a little bit more effort into these, but man, I mean, like, a lot of this stuff just feels like it's reused or refurbished or just like, I mean, it looks lazy, but like you said, these guys are putting out 3 videos a day.
Yeah.
So it just, like 4 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago.
Right. I would say if you're putting out 3 hours or 3 videos a day, maybe try to get someone on to do some like Photoshop for you, even if it's just a quick temporary, like, have one for TV, have one for movies, have one for like other just pop culture references. You know what I'm saying? That way you at least have some differences there in how it looks, because like we're looking at 3 people, but there's going to be hundreds of other people that are doing this exact same thing. And quite frankly, probably having the exact same talking points and saying the same thing within those talking points, because you have like maybe Orion who's coming in and doing it, and then the smaller people trying to ride those coattails.
Well, actually,
by smaller people,
said,
I mean Yellow Flash, because he doesn't have an original thought on his own. But anyway.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because this is the 4th channel that I wanted to show. This guy's called Nerion. But like, dude, it's just like, I've never heard of this guy before. It popped up on my algorithm, and it's the same thing. Now these thumbnails look a little bit better.
Well, 3 of them all say they hate him, and the only thing that's different is the secondary photo.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the same for this. Yeah, it's, and then Critical Drinker's face on most of these too is kind of like, okay, like, I can't tell if this is like good business sense where these guys are just like, hey, I can make so much money from this and it's so easy. All I have to do is just like screen record, put a thumbnail here, and like, that's pretty much it. I don't know whether I'm the asshole because I haven't been doing it. Like, anyone could do this, right? It's super easy.
Yeah.
But am I the one who's like, I'm missing out on money, or like, I just feel dumb.
But at some point, I think you have to wonder about the longevity. You know, like when you have so many people doing the same thing, presenting it the same way, and ultimately saying the same thing, you're gonna have to find a way to stand out.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
No, you're 100% right. I look at all these channels, and you know, I will say that, and we've talked about this before about Ryan. I think that he does his best work on live streams, and when he's talking about Star Wars, I get no beneficial value or any like additional value added to my life from Yellow Flash or John Delarose. I don't know what Nearion's videos are. It popped up and I was like, oh boy, here we go. But I mean, I wonder if at some point, because we talk about this stuff too, right? On our live streams, on our channels, on our videos, we talk about this stuff too. But the channels that are kind of focused or surrounded on just this thing, I wonder, once it kind of dries out or once it kind of cools down a little bit, what's next? Or some of these people are capitalizing on it now, saving that money and going like, I'm just going to capitalize now and then invest later.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, like I said, I can't blame them for what they're doing, because they found the algorithm, they found the key to success here. They're making money. They're garnering a following, but yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how many trail off channels are we going to have with the same exact format. It's just fascinating.
Well, it's gonna be interesting to see who sticks around too. You know,
That's
like who's gonna keep kind of plugging away. So, and I would say Ryan's got the best advantage, at least out of these, because of the platform he's got with Gary and everything else. But you know, I don't know. There's a distinct reason why I'm making a shift on my channel to do just more content focused, like actually discussing the content, not the drama or the stories around it. So
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think the ones who will end up sticking around are the ones who are super knowledgeable about their specific thing. So like, if Ryan's channel died tomorrow, like if everything woke went away and like entertainment was like perfect, and like we pretty much went back to like the glory days of the 80s where it was just like good storytelling, Ryan could start a Star Wars channel and it would be just as successful, in my opinion. I think he'd do well because he's just so knowledgeable. Yellow Flash, and well, Freudian slip. I did say Yellow Flush. With Yellow Flush and John Delarose, they have nothing of value to add to anything or anyone. Like I don't, at least I don't see that. So maybe I'm wrong, but yeah. Oh well. So yeah, I was looking at it today and I was like, I find this so fascinating that we're in a time where like this is where we're at now. So but like I said, maybe I can't judge too much because I've made videos like this too. Maybe not, woke, garbage, trash, disaster, but woke. Yeah. JD Petty says time is a flat circle. This is just like when everyone tried to be nostalgia critic or AVGN in the early days. Oh yeah, huh? I remember people trying to be nostalgia critic for sure. Kyle dropping the Seinfeld reference. I appreciate those thumbnails. I love stuff you don't have to think about. Are you talking about Banya's act? What's the deal with Ovaltine? Yeah, he's the voice of our generation, Jerry. JD Petty says, I actually muted JD's comics channel after I unfollowed your boy Zach because it was just more of the same. Yeah. Yeah, the fact that I had to get rid of your boy Zaxx, that was a sad day. I
Dude,
mean,
I did too.
Yeah,
I did too. It was like enough. Which, and it's like, hey, I know people that know him, and I wish they would just go like shake him and be like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get back to what you're doing. That was good."
Wake up. Yeah.
Like smack him around.
Mm.
John, I've never really been a big fan of. So
I don't
he's
get
just
it.
always kind of, I don't know. I mean, especially after the shit. What can I think? I can't think of his name now.
Oh,
Pisker.
okay.
After the whole Pisker
Oh,
situation and
yeah.
like leading up to it, and yeah. So
That's right. So yeah, JD Petty, you're not wrong, man. I mean, this is a big. I think it's sad to see when you have to unfollow your boy Zaxx or unsubscribe from him, because, in my opinion, and I think Josh, you had mentioned this too, he may have been doing some of his best work in 2023 and 2024. His industry analysis,
yep,
unbeaten. I mean, the man was just, he was offering insight and criticism that was really fresh. I had not heard that take before. He was finding things to talk about that still seemed new, even though they had been happening for years. Like that is so difficult to do in this space. And then he couldn't continue doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, no. So. It was like you remember in 2016 when there was a very distinct like shift in certain people. It was like a flip got switched.
Yeah.
Or a switch got flipped. Whatever. Apparently.
I know what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So that to me is like kind of what happened with him. It was just like one day he just like woke up and I was like, bro, you took your crazy pills today and every day since. But yeah.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
Crazy.
D-Subversion says all of them are fans at some level. They will just go back to talking fandom. I think some.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. Like some of them have made a brand out of themselves. And that's where in my opinion, I think you have to be careful, because once you make yourself into a brand of kind of being like, look, Ryan is knowledgeable, but the thing that I hate about Ryan is he goes over the top, for the views. Like
yeah.
But that's kind of become his brand, and people do respond to it clearly. Like, look at his subscriber count. However, when you shift from that, people then aren't getting what they signed up for. So you have to cultivate a new audience. And the problem is when you kind of go and do things to be dramatic or, flair or whatever you want to call it, you might push certain people away who are kind of like middle of the road. So,
yeah. No, that's a really good point. JD Petty says, see, you can criticize these channels without being catty and indirect. Yeah, no, the last, if I am going to criticize something, I want to be sure that I'm very, I want to make sure that I'm doing it in a way that's like, I'm not trying to be disingenuous about it. Like, if I am going to call it out, I should probably just say the name of the person. But oh well. And yeah, who wants to not like? I don't know. Yeah, I don't do this to cause drama. I do this just because I find it fascinating, and I like to get other people's input on it. Because like some people could come into the chat and be like, Max, you're totally wrong. Like Yellow Flash has some really great videos. And I'd be like, cool, let me see them. Right. Like, I don't know about them. Zaxx says Ryan does everything on camera that helps him a ton. Yellow Flash doesn't. I also don't think that Yellow Flash has a original thought. So even if Yellow Flash were on camera, I still don't think that there would be anything there.
Yellow Flash has my interactions with Yellow Flash go all the way back to my Batman News days before he had a YouTube channel.
Really?
Before he was doing anything. When he was in like Discord. Is it Discord? Yeah. Like chatting and crap. But he's that guy that stands behind other people and it's like, yeah, that's right.
Get him. That's right.
Yeah.
What he said.
That's like, Yellow Flash.
Cool. Good. Yeah. That's really funny. I like that envisionment now. So, yeah, I really think that Furiosa did that might have been the straw that broke the canoe's back, if you know what I'm saying. So, get it?
I think it was the canoe's back.
Mm-hmm.
The canoe, it's got humps. I think what really broke him was that animated Batman show that came out where Penguin's the lady, because that's when he just like went like full off the deep end.
Yeah.
So
yeah. When people only report on terrible video games, odds are they don't actually play video games. Yeah, I mean, the reason why I like our Friday shows and even like our Max's Man Caves, like we're going to talk about some really cool stuff tonight. Well, with a lot of other stuff that's not so great, but I think you have to recognize the wins and celebrate the wins when they're there and apparent, but also like talk about the losses because those are also super apparent, and criticize those things and offer maybe some advice as to how to maybe fix it. Like Josh, I think you do that actually really well. Is like Kyle and I will just criticize and we'll just nitpick and we'll be negative, and then Josh will be like, well, sure, but this is how they could have done it better, right? Like this is what they could have done to make it like, here's a different take, right? So, and now the big guys, I think like your Maulers, your Critical Drinkers, your Garys, they do it in a way that's one, entertaining, funny. They add like actual criticism that seems new or fresh or interesting. Yep. They have good editing. Well, at least like Critical Drinker, his strength comes from his writing. He's a writer, right? So his criticism comes from a background in writing. Gary is all in his humor, his timing, and his editing, and his grand knowledge of all of these like, universes and stuff. So
yeah, they have a voice, and that's important because that's what's going to draw people to watch it. But the important thing is, and this is where, like I had to eat crow after a while because I was like, oh, they just keep saying the same crap. That's what I used to say about Gary, but I wouldn't watch his full shows. And then I started watching his shows completely, like his videos completely. And then, he was giving assessments, and his thumbnail might say one thing, but when you get into the meat of it, he's breaking down what worked, what didn't work, what he liked, why he didn't like it. And that's what's important. It's fine if you don't like something, but explain why. And, I know we keep shitting on Yellow Flash, but Yellow Flash can't do that. That's why I'm like, there's no value here for me. Like, if you can't explain why you dislike something other than it's woke, it's garbage, then you really don't have an opinion that you're bringing to the table. So
there was John Delarose actually pulled out 2 videos either yesterday or today. He did 2 videos, one talking about the Blue Beetle comic we talked about Friday, and another one he talked about was the Nightwing's But or Nothing But Nightwing. That was the other comic he talked about.
So bad.
And he talked about those 2, and he was just like, oh man, this sucks. Oh my God, I can't believe they did that to Nightwing. This sucks. Oh man, you know what? Buy my comic because this Nightwing book sucks. I was like, what are we doing? This commentary sucks. How about that?
Yeah. I would also say if you're our creator, especially if you're indie or doing crowdfunding, be very careful about saying that your stuff is better because I'd say like 70% of the time it's on par with what you're complaining about.
Yeah. So, this is kind of interesting. Jack says, I like Drinker and Gary, but lately the Despot of Antrim, am I saying that right, has been my favorite critic. I've never heard of him, Jack. I'll have to check him out. Thanks, man. Appreciate the recommendation. Well, let's go ahead and get into the first thing on the for the evening, because in the title, I did say that there was a Daredevil preview or Daredevil trailer. So on Twitter, Daredevil Updates posted brand new Daredevil Born Again trailer has been shown at New York Comic-Con. Now, after watching, this is not brand new. At least it may be new for New York Comic-Con, but it looks like this is a trailer that has had maybe some extra clips, or maybe it's better quality, or maybe there's just a couple extra. So I do need to preface that this is not like brand new. It's not completely different than the San Diego Comic-Con trailer, but there are some new things here. So I figured Josh and I would watch it. Now, you've seen the first one, right, Josh?
Yeah, and I probably should have gone back and rewatched it to see if there were like any distinct differences, but I did recognize a lot of clips in this from the first one. But it was also hard to tell because I mean, it looks like they're free and no one gives a shit at New York Comic Con that they're recording. In San Diego, they have people walking the aisles, like they're all through the aisles looking for phones or cameras or whatever, and they will take it away and kick you out. So this is a much clearer, better footage than what came out of San Diego.
My only question: why did they film it vertical? You know you're going to post this. Like what in the world are you thinking?
Amateur.
Dumb. Amateur hour. All right. Well, even though this is amateur hour, let's play this. I don't know if it's going to get hit, so maybe I'll pause after a few seconds, but
I probably would pause.
Yeah. I'll say this, man. I watched a little bit of it. I was just talking about how much I criticize stuff. Like I don't know. Maybe Marvel is like just trying to fake me out and like hit me in my feels, but like I really liked what I saw.
Agreed.
I hate to be that. I don't know. So, let's just go ahead and play it then.
We can turn the lights down.
Tell me everything. Look, somebody's got to protect the streets.
Is this gonna be like Ben Urich, or do we know who this is yet? Okay.
They show him multiple times in the trailer. It's White Tiger.
Ah, okay.
People are going missing. Nobody seems to care.
What do you think? Well, so far already, I like the tone. I like the feel. I like even just like the editing seems to be like pretty good, at least for the trailer. But
I was gonna say you always have to be careful with editing in trailers because you could just have a really good editor on the trailer.
Yeah,
but
someone who's
I mean, it looks like they had the whole creative shift after the strike. They actually brought in some really solid people to work behind the scenes on this. Your writers, your showrunner, the directors, and it looks like they all realize like, hey, if we try to do something different, like drastically different than what they did for Netflix, we are gonna fail. Even if it's good, but it's drastically different, we're gonna fail. Like we need to keep that. That spirit, that theme, that feel, and it looks like they're trying really hard to do that. So I appreciate that.
I hope so, man, because we also get to see the new villain that's going to be portrayed in this. Which did you ever read those comics when they were coming out?
I did. He's like they can if they go dark like they did with Netflix, you can do some really creepy like horror type stuff with that. So
yeah. I'm still mad because I had that whole series and I sold it because I was like, no one's gonna read this garbage because it was coming out around the Marvel Now era or Marvel Now, all new Marvel.
Yep.
And so I was like, no one's gonna read this. I sold it, and now I'm kicking myself in the butt because this villain is great. I really like his concept. The fact that he is going to, I'll shut up so we can play more of this. But yeah, we'll see him in just a second.
Man, it's more than just putting on a suit. I don't think you understand. People need a hero.
Do you think they're going to bring in? Oh, what?
I love that just little, and this is where Charlie Cox is freaking amazing. Where he's like, White Tiger's there, and he's like, you don't understand. People just need a hero, and he's like, you're preaching to the choir, buddy. Like, I definitely understand.
The little smirk and that's all you need. Camera's gonna pick up. You don't need a big, theatrical. I was gonna say, you think they're gonna bring the purple man, the guy in the purple suit, giant purple people eater,
David. What?
I forget his. David Tennant? No, I forget the actual villain's name. I think he is called the Purple Man or something. But he's one of Daredevil's villains.
Are you talking about Killmonger? No, not Killmonger.
No.
No, shit. Why can't I think of his name? David Tennant played him in Jessica Jones.
Oh, potentially.
Kilgrave.
Kilgrave, yes. Yeah.
I don't. If they're gonna keep continuity with the Netflix shows, I don't think they're gonna bring Kilgrave in.
Oh, okay.
Because she they might, but she very distinctly, kills him.
Yeah. Yeah, the series is going to be called Born Again, even though they're pulling the villain from a different comic series, one of the more recent comic series, like from back 2020, 2012, 2014, somewhere around there. But yeah.
New York is what it's always been. Not for blood. The entire system.
Are they bringing Karen back? I thought they weren't going to have her there.
Yeah, Foggy and Karen are back. So they originally weren't. They originally weren't in it, and people lost their shit when they got out.
Rightfully so, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Karen. Okay.
I mean, there have been set photos, so let's maybe not get too excited. I don't know.
Oh no.
They're filming things to purposely fake things out. So
okay. Yeah.
Against you. Mr. Murdoch, no further comment at this stage. It's often David versus Goliath.
By the way, the guy, you're gonna probably hate this, but the guy ducking with his hands up is Kamala Khan's dad.
Oh no.
Yeah. But I
Do you think they're gonna cross over?
I think they are trying to show that this is New York City, and yes, it's quote unquote a big city, but it's really not that big. Like, it makes sense that you're gonna have, if you've established Matt Murdock as being this lawyer that's helping superheroes, and you have this whole Kamal Khan thing going on, it makes sense that their paths would cross at some point. But
I'm wondering why, if they are going with such a dark, intense, serious tone, I wonder how they're going to add her in there without feeling maybe ham-fisted or too comic-y. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if they're necessarily going to add her in there, but I think look, we all have different shades of ourselves. We have sides of us that are very serious. We have sides of us that are complete idiots and dorks and goobers and whatever. Like, if we look at you and I, most people, what they see of us on these streams, we're usually kind of goofy, or we're like, what the is this? But we became really good friends because a lot of our early conversations were about really deep personal things, like
really serious stuff. Yeah.
So I think they're gonna try to really just set the tone of, like, each show's or each character's brand will have its own tone, and sometimes they might step out of that, and it's okay. Like, some people got really pissed off at what Daredevil did in She-Hulk, but I think 95% of what he did in She-Hulk was actually not bad. So lighter tone, but it's also a show that was supposed to be a comedy and just failed miserably at being a comedy.
Right. It just wasn't funny. So.
Yeah.
One of the greatest sins a comedy movie or show could do is just not be funny. So there you go. Oh, very nice.
Yep.
It's really blurry, but that's Punisher, baby. All right.
Yep.
Okay. You've piqued my interest, sir. Should I put on my shirt and my cap and go, "Oh, Punisher, wow," and do the thumbnail
you
face?
Should. They punished her.
It's red and black. It's Punisher. Oh, yeah. And he slams him up against that lock. How did they get John Bernthal? That's awesome.
I mean, look, he said he would come back if it was a good script, so hopefully that's the case. I love when he first got cast as the Punisher, by the way. I don't know if you've ever seen this story, but he was doing an interview and he talked about how he got cast, and he's like, "Oh, I should, read up on the character." So he went to a comic book shop and had like a stack of books and was buying them, and that the guy at the counter was like, "I know who you are. And I know who you're playing. And I'm not letting you buy this, or this. So take them off the file.
way.
You need to read this, and this, and then you need to get this, and this. And he's like, don't fuck it up. So
no way.
That's when he realized, like, I need to take this kind of seriously. So.
Oh, absolutely. I hope he got rid of Jason Aaron's Punisher from his stack and put in all the Garth Ennis stuff. And like,
probably. I mean, that's definitely he pulled from that Max stuff. So,
but that could have been scary though if he did him dirty, because like you got to get the Chuck Dixon Punisher, you got to get the Garth Ennis Punisher, and you probably got to get like Punisher kills the Marvel Universe or something like. But there have been some bad Punisher stuff.
Like if that happened today, if he got cast today and never played it, and he went into a comic shop with some soy boy that's working there. Oh my god, you have to get Jason Aaron's. It's so good. It takes away all that, like,
toxic
masculinity. Who needs that? It's the Punisher. Like, we don't need that.
Oh god. Or you know what? They'd give him David Pepose as Punisher. And they'd be like, this one's way better.
Yeah. Oh god. Oh, that was Bullseye, yeah? Bullseye, yep.
Yeah.
And that, I was going to say 100% because of Charlie Cox that he's back.
That's cool.
Yeah, he originally was not in there, and Charlie was like, we got to get Bethel back, William Bethel. He's great. He was great. That character isn't finished. We still have so much to do. He needs to be back. And then writers agreed, and he got written in. I
almost didn't recognize him because he wasn't Colin Farrell. So,
god, nonsense.
Man, already we've got four villains: White Tiger, the Painter, Wilson Fisk, and Bullseye, and potentially if Punisher is a villain, man, we've got a large portion of his rogues gallery here. That's cool.
Yeah.
Or it could be oversaturation, and it's going to be like they're not going to let it breathe. I don't know.
I think you're gonna have. I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
Sometimes.
So that's our new villain, the Painter who paints murals with
that's
blood.
That's
White Tiger.
Yep.
Oh, maybe he's not in here.
No, he is. He comes up in a little bit.
That's him.
There. Yeah.
Okay. That looks so sick.
It's creepy.
I do think this looks good. Yeah.
And for those of you that aren't familiar, why can't I'm blanking on names tonight, so I apologize, y'all. Like, my mind is.
I don't know his name either. His method.
So he will paint murals of people that he's not of people that he's killed, but he'll paint murals using the blood of people he's killed. So
and body parts, yeah. He doesn't spare any expense. He uses every part of the animal to paint his mural. It's creepy, but it's also badass. It's really rad. So
Must rain. It does seem like we really do understand each other. So if you step out of line.
Fisk is wearing an American flag pin. So he's running for mayor?
Yes.
Is that what okay.
Yeah.
I am going to be there. This caution that you're giving me, who's it from? Matt Murdock or your darker half?
Action looks cool.
It looks solid.
Action looks solid. Ooh.
Yeah. Breaking a bone and whatever it's called when it goes through the skin. Like, yep. Made me happy to see that, though.
Wasn't that compound fracture? When it breaks the skin, something like that? I don't know. But no, that's when it doesn't matter.
A really good one.
Well, there you have it. There you have it, folks. So that was revealed at New York City Comic Con, or New York Comic Con, that just happened this past weekend, or is currently still happening. But man, dude, I mean, I don't think this would save the Marvel universe or anything, but if we get a show that's damn good,
Yep.
I'll put my money towards it. I'll watch it. I'll
Agreed.
praise it.
Yeah, it seems like they're really wanting to build out the street level. I mean, they've talked about how they want to build out the street level characters again with the shows. So now I think what they need to do, that Netflix made the mistake of doing, is not have every character have their own show. So have Daredevil. Like if you want a Punisher show, fine. But I think they're going to take him a different direction, and then do like a Heroes for Hire. So.
Okay.
And look, I'll just throw this out there. I don't know if it's still the case, but this was before the writer's strike. Kristen Ritter, who plays Jessica Jones, she had signed a contract to be in the show. Now, all of that got tossed to the side, so who knows if she will appear or not, but I kind of hope she does.
Yeah, I never watched that show, but I hear that I know you've said that it was fine, that there were some good moments.
It's fine. She's good. But that character to me works better when it's not the lead.
Yeah, when she's kind of a supporting character.
Yeah,
that's fair. I almost wonder if Punisher works better as a foil to Daredevil in Daredevil's own show, as opposed to a complete different Punisher show.
Yeah. I think you're gonna see more of a Midnight Suns direction come out of the Punisher. So.
Very well. Interesting. Okay. So Nick Cage coming back as Ghost Rider confirmed. You heard it here first, folks. No, I'm kidding. But no, I mean, hey, I watched it earlier. I didn't watch the whole thing because I just saw the first part of it and I was like, that looks cool. We'll watch the whole thing on the show. And sure enough, I'm surprised. I'm genuinely surprised that. Because if you were to tell me to watch anything that Marvel has come out with in the past decade, I've hated it. I've been so upset with it that I won't even give it my time just to watch a trailer. But the fact that I like this one, I don't know. Am I a fool?
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out once it comes out. But yeah. Looking forward to seeing that though. My only criticism, and I'm sure I'll have more criticisms once the show is actually out, but my only criticism, which is one that is easily fixable and is actually a major part of my criticism, he needs the DD on his chest and he doesn't have it. It's nowhere to be found. So simple. Just put it right here.
I'm okay with or without it.
Lame. It's such a cool classic logo, and he just.
I don't think the costume looks as good as it did on the Netflix show. It's a little basic, especially when you start looking at the pants. But I feel in my soul that the red costume's temporary. I think they're going to go with that black costume, which I am 100% okay with.
Oh, like the 90s, black armor?
No. Like the Charles Soule. Black, solid black, red eyes, red D, red double D's. Yeah.
Whoa.
Have you not seen that?
I have, but not in a while. So interesting. Okay. I thought you were gonna say they were gonna go with the yellow suit. So.
Oh no. I don't think that would be so out of place. Yeah. You can kind of see it a little bit better there. But
that looks good.
Yeah.
I could get down with that.
I don't know if we got a page with it, but I know some people were mad about the black. I didn't mind the black.
You don't mind the blacks?
I don't mind the black. What an asswipe.
All right. Well, let's get to some news. because now that we've seen the trailer, it's time to talk about some of the current events. So let's get right into the news. Breaking. This is breaking. You too have heard of what's going on currently. We're here in Los Angeles at this moment, and it is confirmed. I am getting confirmed from my sources that Disney has been handed another huge loss and a punch to the face from the ex-fighter Gina Carano, as Disney denies their early review of Mandalorian actresses bias suit. So this is to me, I first read this and I was like, this is actually really, really great. This is fantastic news. So back in July, Gina had first posted this, and she said, "The court denies defendant's motion. I am moved to tears after a brutal 3.5 years. I'm being given the opportunity to move forward in the court of law before the judge and my peers to clear my name. I am so grateful for this opportunity." We've also heard that Elon Musk will be taking care of the finances for this. She says, "Thank you to Elon, a man I have never met who so graciously gave me a fighting chance. Thank you for standing for justice for all of humanity. May God bless you and your family for years to come." She says, "What has happened was unacceptable, absurd, and abusive, among other things. It should not have happened to me, and it should not happen to anyone else moving forward. Let it stop here." And so that is what I think is really great about this case, is that the fact that Disney has tried to move forward move forward with not going to discovery and moving past it, and the judge saying, "Absolutely not, we're still moving forward with discovery." Just another punch to Disney's face to really tell them, you're not getting out of this as easy. Because what I think is going to happen now is, if Gina wins this, even if she doesn't win, the fact that we're going to discovery is really going to make a lot of these corporations think twice about hiring or firing people on the basis of political affiliation. So I'll read a little bit more of this. It says, Walt Disney lost its bid to get immediate appeal review of former Gina Carano's discrimination lawsuit. Disney's request for immediate review by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit over whether the First Amendment protected its ability as an artistic entity to make casting decisions by removing someone whose advocacy harmed its own expression isn't purely a question of law. Judge Sherilyn Peace Garnett said in an ordered entered Wednesday. So I think what they're trying to do is they're saying, well, our First Amendment rights makes us do whatever we want. And the courts are like, nah, that's not how this works. Like, sorry. Oh, sorry, you were going to say something?
Yeah, no, I think the First Amendment rights aspect of it is that the talent has a right to say what they want to say, right. On their own platforms. Now, as a company, if you hire someone, you can set up company policy saying like, hey, this is forbidden. We don't want you saying these things. We don't want you doing this. But there's got to be fairness there, balance there. And that's what we're seeing here is the opposite of that, because you had Gina come out with a political, I don't even want to say it was a very heavy political stance, but just a political stance. And, action was taken against her. She was fired. There's this whole movement to kind of just like cancel her completely. She got blacklisted from most of Hollywood. And then you had people that were more in line with the executives' personal beliefs and viewpoints politically. And they were allowed to say way more egregious things. And nothing happened. So it's like, okay, you either do or you don't. But you can't be selective and like, well, I didn't like what this person said, therefore. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Mark Hamill was like on the Geeks and Nerds for Harris live stream. You know what I mean? So like, if we're really going to talk about how actors and actresses who are part of Disney are being portrayed or supporting their political movement. I like yeah, you cannot be so okay with something that is that far left and not accept something that she posed as a not even a conservative view. Maybe her pronoun thing, like where she said beep bop boop, that got everyone really mad. But the tweet about her comparing what was going on in the world to what was happening in the late 1930s, I felt was actually fairly accurate, right? And she didn't say, "Oh, this is happening to conservatives," or "Oh, this is happening to liberals." She just kind of posted it and was saying like, "Hey, I think we should really take a look at ourselves." You know?
Yeah, that was completely about like just government overstepping and overreaching, and that's what that tweet was about. Whereas you've had the other side come through and talk about how like, oh, if the death of a certain person happened, it'd be perfectly fine. Like, maybe we shouldn't say that.
Maybe we shouldn't say that. Maybe Pedro Pascal shouldn't say that anyone who's affiliated with a certain group are all the equivalent of the Confederates and the Nazis. You know what I mean? So
yes,
his post was like losers in 1939, losers in, and then it was like a Confederate flag, and then it was like losers in 2020, and it was like a Trump MAGA hat or something. So
yep.
Yeah. So here is the update from Gina Carano herself. This was, let's see, October 17th. So like 3 days ago. Yeah. She says, update. After the judge denied Disney's request to dismiss my case, Disney requested permission to immediately appeal that decision in the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and delay all discovery while that appeal takes place. Yesterday, October 16th, 2024, we learned that the judge denied Disney's unusual request. I'm obviously very pleased with the opportunity to keep moving forward with the judicial process and into discovery. While I wish this was not necessary, as it is not my desire to be in this battle in court, I will not shrink away from it because it is hard or uncomfortable. Again, a huge thanks to all of you who have shown me support daily, to my incredible lawyers, and to Elon Musk and the people at X for the opportunity in continuing this lawsuit and seeking justice onward. That's wild, man.
Yeah, and look, like, thank God for Elon, because Disney's tactic, and it always has been their tactic, is that they're gonna tie this up as long as possible in the courts and make it so expensive that you can't move forward, you can't continue. And that's why so many actors and actresses or talent or people that work in the offices haven't come forward with stuff, because it's like, well, can't afford to do it. So
yeah, no, I mean, Elon has done a lot for the US, not just with SpaceX and the rockets that he's got going on and all this crazy other like engineer brain stuff that like is way above my pay grade and something I know nothing about. But he's doing
are coming.
Oh God, no. But he's doing stuff just in our immediate vicinity within our world with Twitter and with Gina's case. Imagine what Twitter would be in this next election without Elon. And then imagine where Gina would be and Disney would be without Elon's backing. I mean, we'd be in a completely different world right now. So very interesting to see. But praying for Gina. We are praying for everyone involved in this process. We're hoping that it goes well and that we do end up getting to discovery. But man, dude, like, what a huge win. The fact that Disney, like you said, kept just wanting to sweep it under the rug. Nothing to see here, folks. No. And the judge denied it and was like, you're not getting away that easy. I'm sorry. So pretty cool stuff.
Yep.
Jamin D says, do you think Hollywood will start to rehire her if she wins this case? Josh, I'll let you answer this one if you want.
Yes and no. You're gonna have certain people that have worked. Sorry, my voice is giving out on me. You're gonna have certain people that have worked with her that might be willing to give her a chance. But it's gonna be lower level project stuff. If you get executives that are conservative and they take over some of these, studios, yes, but for the most part, no, not immediately. It's probably gonna be a good 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. Jamin, honestly, I don't even know if she wants to. I mean, I know she wants to act, but I don't even know if she should probably go back to Hollywood. I think people joke that like the best thing that could have ever happened to her is that she was fired from Star Wars, because look at where Star Wars is a brand right now, right? Like it is no longer just a money machine. You can't just make something and it just automatically makes millions. So I think at this point, Gina not having her name tied to what it has become, or affiliated or associated with it, I think that's actually a good thing for her, and I'm grateful that she didn't have to be put through any of the nonsense that has been coming out. So I'm thankful that she's not there. But in terms of Hollywood, it's a good question. It'll take a while, but we will see places like Angel Studios or what's the other production company? Well, Daily Wire already had her in one of their films, but I think Angel Studios could potentially pick her up and she'd do great there. So we'll see, man. I'd love to see her back on the big screen for sure. But
yeah, she's been doing some smaller stuff in general. But look, at the end of the day, studios are about money. Like, as much as they try to act like they're not, as much as they, bomb. People might say, like, well, have you looked at, Disney's current stuff? Keep in mind, we're still getting the remnants of Disney's stupid decisions, from like 2 years ago. But they have pivoted. They're moving more of that direction. Like, people were let go. We had on the Marvel side of things, you had all the Rick and Morty writers that got the, so
out of here.
Yep.
Enough of your dumb jokes that aren't funny.
Yeah.
And enough of your writing on the go. We don't want another Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania where you're writing on the set because you haven't finished the script. It's one thing if you finish the script and you're doing rewrites or edits on set. That's different. But writing your third act that you haven't written yet as you're filming?
It's not even that it was that. It was that it was a, like, I know we have this script that we greenlit, but I think a better idea would be to do A, B, and C.
I know. I wrote for Rick and Morty.
Let's just change the entire story, okay?
Yeah. So let's get this guy with holes over here. He's gonna be fine, right?
May Jeff Loveness never work in Hollywood again, please, for the love of God.
And then that a lot of that happened with I feel like a lot of the behind the scenes proved that to be true as well with the Doctor Strange film, but I don't know.
So I disagree with Andy here. If a studio gets, their butt spanked in a public forum, they will very quickly do things to look at this. Everything's good. We're all good. We're moving forward. Because look at ScarJo. ScarJo sued Marvel and Disney, and
that was actually my example.
What came out of it? Like, she gets producer rights and gets to do her own thing. Like, yeah. Because that's the easiest way. That's the best PR for them, to be like, look, it's not that bad. Look, they're gonna come out and be like, look, they're trying to make you think it's real bad. It's not that bad. We came to terms. Everything's good. We're moving forward.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like male feminists. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, unless you have someone like a Jay Lee that comes out and like, no, man, we're not good. Fuck you, Tom King.
Yeah, love Jay Lee. We love Jay Lee. And that's such a based move. Tom King being like, oh, I'm sorry, I tried to cancel your entire career and make you not work in comics anymore. And instead, Jay Lee was like, nah, that ain't it, dude. So maybe Zaslav. I mean, Zaslav has the balls, but he's just a businessman, like, I feel like just straight up businessmen just make those decisions on a daily basis where they're like, nah,
he's looking right. He's looking to unload Warner Brothers as well.
He's looking to sell, baby. What was the other thing I was going to say? But yeah, it's kind of like male feminists. If like someone was like, wow, you're such a misogynist, they'll do like everything in their power to be like, no, I'm not. Everything's fine, guy. And then they'll just start like, whatever to all the women around them to make sure that they're like, guys, see, I love feminism. I'm not a misogynist, I promise. It's like, those who preach the loudest have the most to hide type of thing. So Gooch, what's happening, dude? Thanks for being here. Hope you're having a good night. Well, let's get to our next topic. DC is finally, Josh, it's happening. DC is finally fixing a sexist trend running through Batman lore. Oh, final. I'm so thankful. Chat, aren't you guys happy? Like, aren't y'all excited for this? I am so done with Batman being such a sexist, having such sexist tropes. Ugh. So let's go ahead and see what this article has to say. This is from Screen Rant. It says, Absolute Batman debuts with a massive twist to Batman lore, and it finally addresses a sexist trend running throughout the character's history. Now, before even reading or writing anything more, what do you think they're going to say about what sexist trend could possibly be something that they're thinking about here?
I mean, look, the only thing that I can think of, because they said it was a twist, and the only thing that feels like a twist, it's the only thing that would make sense, because the only twist you have is like, I don't even know if I'd call this a twist, but you have the whole, like, the Joker is called the Joker because he doesn't laugh, but there's nothing sexist about that. So I'm immediately going to his mom's alive, and they're going to be like, and that's only because that's the only other thing that is quote unquote a twist. I mean, other than Alfred, but that's delivered on page 1. Look, both of his parents died. There's nothing sexist about it. Like, both of his parents, both the male,
no, Josh,
and female.
You're wrong, Josh, and this article will prove you wrong. I can show you why. And which also begs the question: would Superman also have sexist tropes? Because his, Jor-El and his mother died on Krypton. So, I think that probably tracks as well. Who else? Parents have died in a horrible accident.
Well, Uncle Ben.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
That's there. That's
we fixed that sexist thing in the MCU when Aunt May delivered.
That's right. Yeah.
Uncle Ben died first, just not when it was important. Man,
I guess so. Yeah, thank you, Scott Snyder. He did it. He ended misogyny and sexism in the comic book industry. He single-handedly did it.
If you'll remember back when they were calling for the comic writers to stand with the women and make a vow, to end sexism and sexual. If you'll remember, he was with that movement. He retweeted it.
Wait,
a big old retweet.
Josh, you couldn't be talking about men in comics
exactly.
say no.
Yeah.
Right? You wouldn't be talking about this, right? The hashtag that was going around. And because he was on a trip. And so when he came back, everyone was like hounding him, and they were like, why have you not spoken about this, Scott Snyder? And he's like, I was on vacation. What happened? What did I do? And they were like, you haven't made the pledge yet, Scott Snyder. You haven't cut your hand and bled your blood for us, Scott Snyder. And he's like, oh my God, my whiteness. I'm so sorry.
The best was that the people that were kind of leading this whole thing gave him shit for not retweeting and pledging. And then the moment he did, immediately came back and were like, yeah, so what were you doing when Eddie Berganza was harassing all these females and you just kept turning a blind eye? Which, I mean, there is 100% truth to that. But, it's like, wait, you guys just guilted him for not pledging. And the moment he does, you're like, why are you pledging, you piece of shit? Like, come on.
Not only that, but they were like, yeah, this seems a little fake to me. I can't believe that you would, like, even though he did it and he pledged this Men in Comics Say No thing, like, people were retweeting it and saying like, yeah, a little too late, or I don't think this is genuine, or like, can't win. You'll never win. So there are a lot of ideals we claim to honor in comics: hope, justice, unity, innovation, creativity, freedom. None of them mean anything unless men in comics change our behavior and hold each other accountable for the safety of women and all people of marginalized genders and sexes. I pledge to never abuse, harass, groom, or manipulate women. Like, these are all things that you should just inherently do, right? But they had to make the pledge to virtue signal.
Yeah. Yeah, because wasn't this like following Warren Ellis, that whole like
Oh, you know what? I think that's what it was. Yeah.
yeah.
To actively
Warren
call
Ellis.
out our friends and peers, actively call them out, even when no one else is watching, to
Yeah, that-
ally for women and all people of marginalized.
That shit doesn't happen. There are people that were behind this movement that are friends with writers today that are notorious for being a little like maybe inappropriate,
Handsy?
maybe a little handsy, a little slutty, a little man whorish
Touchy-feely?
with women, whether they're peers or fans at conventions.
Mhm.
You know, like people. Like, here's the thing: people are people. Okay, and
Yeah.
if it's a really bad situation and you really are just like taking advantage of people and abusing them, okay, yeah, you shouldn't do it. But you know, you need to have someone within the office like that. HR is there for a reason, and HR's they suck. Those departments are terrible. But your leaders within the company should be taking action and saying like, hey, this needs to stop, and not punish the person that's being, you know, the victim. However, if you're working with someone and you build a close relationship and you're both single, and that individual then says like, you know, I'm kind of attracted to this person. They're fun. They're, you know, they're witty. They're smart. They're good looking. Like, I'd love to take them on a date. And if that suddenly becomes sexual harassment, then get the fuck out. you just got one of the best compliments you could get. Now, if they're like, yo, I want to stick my dick in that poontang pie, then maybe that's crossing the line. But like, hey, we should hang out sometime, or let's go get some drinks or whatever. Like, calm down, women.
Yeah.
Calm down. All right.
There's a difference, but
yeah,
I do think it's interesting. I don't think men are allowed to call out women's bad behavior, Andy. I think that's important. I think that's one of the bullet points here. They can hold themselves accountable for their own actions, but not for but women should not be held to their own actions, accountable for their own actions. So, sorry, what were you saying, Josh?
Well, I was gonna say women are too emotional. Like, they're just too emotional.
Damn.
When you have female writers go into a publication complaining that the review is mansplaining, then you know maybe you shouldn't be writing for entertainment.
For a pretty male dominated space. So
I mean, just in general, like if you're gonna write something that's gonna be critiqued, and if someone comes in and critiques the actual format, like technical aspects, and then you're like, oh, he's mansplaining. Well, maybe fucking write it right. What to tell you?
Hey, I don't know. Maybe get better at writing. Maybe you should do that. But she can't get better at writing if no one gives her criticism. So, oh well.
Yeah.
So let's continue with this. It says the first issue of the new series by Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta introduces a new version of Batman with major changes to his world. Perhaps the greatest change to Batman in this world is the reveal that while the greatest change to Batman. That's a take. It says while Thomas Wayne was still killed when Bruce was a child, his mother Martha is still alive, having raised Bruce after Thomas's death. That was by far not even really mentioned at all in that first issue of Absolute Batman, like at all. Really, not that I can remember.
I mean, it's like, I mean, it's there, but here's the thing, like Batman for the most part no longer works when you do this. Like his whole thing is taking up an act of vengeance against those who are bad and killed and whatever. But part of the reason he does that, that's not a sane thing to do. Like, I think we can all agree that's not what a normal person is going to do. But it's because he didn't have someone there to take him from when he was roughly like 8 to 10 years old. The age kind of changes depending on, you know, when you look at comics or what universe you're in. But if you grow up and you don't have love,
Mhm.
that is one of the things that you might think is a justifiable or reasonable outcome to what you've experienced. But if you grow up with a mother who loves you and provides for you, that's not what you're going to think about doing. You're like, yeah, your dad died and it sucks, but you still grew up with a loving parent.
Right.
Bruce and regular continuity didn't have that. That's why he is the way he is. And I'm not trying to like be emotional or gay or whatever you want to call it. It's just, what happens to a human individual when they don't have that in their life. So
no, I think that's totally valid because it's going to take a lot for someone to dress up as a bat and go out at night and fight crime. Like that something in your life has to happen that's pretty drastic. And if you have a mother in your life that, like you said, Josh, you probably most likely still have trauma from what happened to your father, but maybe not the trauma that makes you go out and be a vigilante, So
yeah.
But you're right. This like completely inherently changes the dynamic. Martha's survival and continued presence in Bruce's life is not only a massive twist to one of the foundational aspects of Batman's lore, but it also, in all bold letters, fixes a sexist trend which has unfortunately become commonplace within the character's history. Wait. Become commonplace because that's his lore. Of course it's commonplace. Like that's his origin story. You can't have Batman without Martha and Thomas dying. This is retarded. This is a very retarded sentence.
Yeah.
And I don't say this because this person is retarded, but because they're dumb.
It just it doesn't make sense. It doesn't. The fact of saying that, it's sexist that she died. Again, both parents died. Both parents died.
Wait, what are we saying? What are we trying to do here? Both parents died. But I think what they're going to allude to is that Batman had a stronger relationship with his father, and it was more like, he took on the role of Batman because of his father's, influence. It says the overwhelming majority of stories featuring flashbacks to Bruce's childhood focus on his relationship with his father or Alfred. Ooh, no. You cannot have that male father figure mentoring and leading and guiding a young, son.
Okay. Also on this, like Alfred was the closest thing to a father figure he ends up having.
Right.
Like, so yeah, of course you're going to have flashbacks because Alfred stepped in to raise him. He stepped in as his guardian. If you didn't have flashbacks with Alfred being a guardian, it would be stupid. You'd be like, so what happened?
Just be more Alfred.
Up? Like, yeah, like was this like a little like, punk ass bitch Bruce Wayne at 12 years old being like, make me macaroni and cheese, you little British punk, like
where are my chicken nuggies?
Yeah. So, and then just in general, if a boy is going to associate with his father more, when they're young, yes, they probably do cling to their mother more, just because they're young and, again, mothers are the nurturing ones. And, the trend done way back in 1939. I think it wasn't until like 41 or 42 that they introduced the death of the parents, but still, like it's stupid. There's plenty of stories about Martha. There are plenty of stories about Martha. Yes, there's more about Thomas, but there's a lot about Thomas because he was a doctor. Like, and there's a lot of stories.
Yeah, no, he was hoping to change Gotham.
Like, I no way am I disparaging stay-at-home mothers, but he was a doctor and he was putting so much of himself into making the city better, and she was at home raising the kid, which I think is important, and I think that's a great thing to do, and I wish more people did that. So in no way is this a negative thing, but she is raising a child and he is actively working to change the city. You're gonna get more stories about Thomas. You're gonna get more about Bruce wanting to be like Thomas because he's doing something. Like, yeah,
Right.
she's there, she's the emotional connection, but like he's watching his dad do these amazing things, and he's watching the city who absolutely loves his dad. And you get into later lore that you find out, his dad kind of got coerced into, helping the mob, meaning he medically helped them, which that's his vow, so it makes sense. But I don't know. These people are just, they get on my nerves. They try so hard to make something out of nothing.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like they just like they're trying to play like 4D chess with this, but they are this is such a stretch. This is a big stretch. And I don't know if they actually legitimately feel this way or if they're just like, oh, this will get clicks, right? Which I mean it does. But you could also say this for like Iron Man. Look at Tony Stark. He is wanting to carry out the legacy of his father and what the Stark name means for them as a family, right? So it only makes sense. But I'll read this next sentence because it's just as hilarious as the previous one. It says, as a result, Martha's often left to the wayside in these stories beyond her death. However, her survival in Absolute Batman #1 by Snyder, Dragotta, Frank Martin, Clayton, and her roles as member of the book's supporting cast ensure that Martha will finally be given her due as a character. I don't know, man. Being the loving, caring, nurturing mother figure to her son before she passed away, and then ultimately becoming the fire that burns within him to protect the innocent and to save Gotham from evil. I'm pretty sure that's that's Martha being given her due. That's a pretty strong character, I think. I don't know. To give him motivation.
I mean, yeah. Because a lot of the Pete Tomasi did a story called The Pearl, and you have a lot of different stories where
that's right.
Bruce has kept or retrieved his mother's pearls that were there from when she got shot, and he keeps them. Like that is often like his I wouldn't be a trophy, but his memorabilia, his what he holds on to for the emotional aspect of his parents.
It's his tether to them.
Correct.
That's his anchor,
And yeah, so he does it for both of his parents, but his emotion, where his heart is, where he probably views his, there's an innocence there that didn't deserve this. It leans more to his mother. But there's been plenty of stories about his mother, and just the contributions of her family to the city. Like you've got the Kane family, and this is, within the past kind of 2 to 3 decades that they brought this in, but it still happened. His mother was a Kane. So, you got Kate Kane, who's Batwoman, like that whole family line. And she played a role in mental health and getting aspects of what kind of, it depends on what continuity you go with, but aspects of Arkham Asylum kind of there. Like there is a story for his mother. Now, what I think is going to happen with this, and I think it's not a good thing, is, Bruce is broke in this story. They don't have money. And I think you're going to get this conversation because he grew up hanging out with all the villains, which I hate how small they've made Gotham, that he's friends with all these villains. And now I would say he's more brutal in this than he has been in recent Batman stories. And they're going to paint this picture that like a single mother pretty much raises this unstable criminal. Are we sure that's a good idea?
This like psychopathic, brute force, like axe wielding, knife throwing, psychopath. Yeah. Got raised by his mom. Scott Snyder, everybody. Woo! He's breaking the glass ceiling for all those women up there. Yeah. Too funny. I'll read this last couple paragraphs and then we'll end the night there. But it says, in the main Batman canon, the men in Bruce's early childhood are often given the most importance in his life. Like we mentioned, Bruce is most likely going to he's going to want his mentors to be men because he maybe identifies with those men and sees them as strong role models and figures that he can.
You mean he identifies as a man, therefore he looks up to men who have positively influenced his life and what it means to be a man? Shocking.
Yeah. Not to say that like men can't have female role models, and like I love my mother and she is a role model for me. But at the end of the day, you're going to identify with your father and the strength and the actions that he portrays, right? So Bruce's narration frequently focuses on his late father, with the greatest example of this occurring in Batman Year One, where he talks to a bust of his father before coming up with the idea for the Batman identity. Conversely, Martha Wayne is only mentioned in the context of her death alongside Thomas, and is seldom talked about by Bruce of his own accord. When Bruce does talk about his mother, it's the exception instead of the norm.
Who wrote did a vagina write this, or did
if it's a male feminist, then yes, it is a vagina. Oh
Max.
No, Max Lava.
Max,
Why do you have my
this?
same name, dude?
He looks like there's some,
there's something going on there.
Extra chromosomes going on there.
Max, why you gotta have my same name, man?
Well, wait. Oh no, go click back on his. Click back on. Okay, scroll down. Batman's biggest flaw turn against him. Keep going. Okay, and finally fixing. Keep going down.
The Long Halloween sequel is one issue.
What does he say?
Well,
if you hover on the title, will it show the rest of the title? No.
The Long Halloween sequel is one issue in, and I already know who the killer is. Spoiler.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Batman lore gets huge change as Absolute Batman reveals his hardcore superhero training.
Who cares? All right. Well, I bet he loved.
Oh, he talked about he talks about Hawkeye.
Let's see if he loved it. Click on that shit real quick.
Oh, explained. Nice. They're wildly different. Charlie Ramsey, an indigenous American character who took Barton's gear after they threw it away.
That looks like that's just mostly a synopsis.
Yeah, this is more synopsis as well. Wanting more of his technology, blah, blah, blah. When Captain America initially fights Charlie, in the end, the pair work together.
Yeah. No, go back up. Look at the subheader. Go back up just a little bit. Look, Ultimate Hawkeye is wildly different take on the character, and that's what makes them great.
Oh, nailed it.
And so not great because it's a good character, but great because it's different. That's all. We did something different, therefore it's great. No, it's not. And look, had they not come out and said this shit, like we talked about this Friday night, like the design of the character isn't a bad design. Like it's
cool.
Yeah.
But
then you just ruins it. So
ruins it. Precious. Yeah, no, that's I think that's what is so funny, is that they will claim that like, oh my God, it's so much better than like Clint Barton Hawkeye. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Well, because he's two-spirited, and because he's indigenous, and because they are two-spirited, non-binary, indigenous, disabled, and whatever. And it's like, right, you're just telling me things about like, who is Charlie, this new Hawkeye? Like, what's their identity?
Yeah,
they couldn't tell you what character aspects about him make him better than Clint Barton. So
yeah, I can't wait until the day that we're like, oh, this character's better because they have a micro penis. Like, it's coming.
Isn't that just a disability? I mean,
yeah.
Hell, I mean, much. then I could sign up for disability checks if that were the case. No, I'm kidding. Weapon finally overpowers Marvel's healing factors. No.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh man. Yeah. Just every time you can tell every time. Oh well. The trend often finds its way into the alternate universes as well. The greatest example of this is found Flashpoint. Thomas receives the majority of focus, while Martha is relegated to an antagonistic role, with this version of Thomas Wayne even making his way into the main. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean, it's just more of the same. I can't believe he actually got to like.
So Enzo actually has a really good point here because he put losing his dad kind of still shows he's more important and leads him to become Batman.
So actually, that's a really good point, eh?
That is actually valid because even though his mom survived, there's no change to his trajectory at all, which means she did what played no fucking purpose in his life. Oh my God, Enzo, I love you right now.
Yeah, Enzo, that's perfect. That's
sheesh.
So good. We've got another stunning and brave comment here from the one and only Dylan Lindsay for $5.
Very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you, sir. Very cool. He says, ultraviolet Batman raised by a single mother? I'm sick and tired of this sexist trope. Screen Rant needs to do better. Celebrating this is dangerous. Well, thank you, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Can you imagine if they had made Bruce black and then had this as the storyline?
Oh no. Another fatherless home. Oh God.
The statistics.
No. Oh no.
Oh no, not the milk.
Oh God.
Sorry.
Yeah, that probably the bigotry of low expectations. Yeah, that probably wouldn't have looked good. So but Dylan, thank you so much for the $5, brother. Seriously, I cannot thank you enough for your support. I always love seeing you on Sundays, and to get these, these comments from you and to see you supporting the channel just means the world. So I appreciate it. But this one's for you.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What we doing live? Echoes in eternity.
Echoes in eternity. Yeah, I didn't hear any beeping, so I don't know. Sus, a little sus. No chirping in Acolyte. So, well, I think that is all the news that is fit to print for tonight. Maybe we'll talk about Zack Snyder, because we have another Snyder that posted a very long article on his Twitter. So Zack Snyder says, does Batman have sex? My version of Batman definitely did, but that isn't always the case. Learn all about Batman's sex life in this article from inverse.com or inverse.com, superhero issue guest edited by me. And it's a goddess holding a vibrator.
I don't fuck if I know.
All right. So maybe next week we can cover this, Josh, because when you look at this article, it is a long, I would have to go through it and actually read it to see what we wanted to talk about, because it's extensive. So
you sent me this article, and because I mean the title of it, the way he tweeted it, implies that no, it doesn't happen, but his does, because he's realistic and he understands things. And I'm like, bro, tell me you haven't read a Batman comic without telling me you haven't read a Batman comic. Bruce is getting tail right and left. Now, there is, and I don't remember what story it is, there is a story where he talks about not hooking up with people later in his Batman career, but it's because his body is covered in scars. But it's, which it's you see this businessman and suddenly you've got all these stab wounds and gunshots and you're like, oh, what is, which that makes sense. But he's got a long history of women that he was
he's just clapping cheeks, baby.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Too funny. Yeah. But no, Josh. Zack and Scott Snyder know more than both of us. They know. They are the true Batman fanboys. So
I mean, look, Scott Snyder knows a lot. Scott Snyder does. Zack Snyder doesn't know shit. Zack Snyder wouldn't know a Batman comic if it was an omnibus that got thrown at him and knocked him in the fucking face.
Knocked him in the yeah, that tracks. I mean, he probably read the Tom King iteration, was like, I know Batman now. So
Batman,
No.
Superman, Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter. He doesn't understand any of
Oh
them.
no. Andy, is Batman doing the butt? Is Batman the power bottom of the butt sex, or is he the catcher, the pitcher? Like, what's going on here, Andy? I need to know for science, for research. Yeah. Dylan says, newsflash: Batman has sex in like every iteration. Yeah.
Every. Like the whole point, they introduced Kathy Kane as Batwoman in the 40s, I believe, was one to kind of show that like, hey, he's not really doing Robin up the butt. He's got
that's right.
He's doing her up the butt. So
they had to prove to their audience, like, guys, Robin, like he's not a PDF file. Like it's fine. Like Batman's not this. Like Robin isn't doing anything. So, the Steelers just blocked a field goal.
Have you been watching football this entire time?
No.
Oh.
How dare you say that? As it's on my phone.
Oh wow.
No, not the entire time. I just turned it on and was like, oh my God. So
I was gonna say I applaud you because you stayed really focused, and
no. I
would have made it
cannot
obvious.
multitask. Yeah, I can't multitask that well. But so we'll go ahead and end it there. But yeah, thank you again for coming on tonight, Josh. I know I told you just an hour, dude. It'll be super quick, and we're almost running on 2 hours now. But
I had fun. It was worth it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. Plenty of fun stuff to talk about. So, well, chat. Thank you guys as well. It's always a pleasure to hang with y'all on a Sunday night. Now get out of here and go turn on the football game, or go hang out with your family. Go grab some dinner. Do whatever you guys do on a Sunday evening before work. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll see you here next weekend on Friday for more comic book reviews. Josh, you got anything going on this week on Tuesday?
So Tuesday, Drew and I should be doing top 5 comics. Apologies to everyone for not having a show this past week. There was we were kind of shifting gears last minute, and then things fell apart. But Drew's been in New York for New York Comic Con with the launch of TCM Press, the Comic Mints publishing line. So he's got 3 books that are being released this weekend, and it was a lot going on. But yeah, we should be here Tuesday for top 5 comics. And then the Tuesday after that is I believe no,
God Loves Man Kills?
Yeah, actually it is. Nope. It's the week after that. We'll figure. Yeah. I've got to figure out. I don't know what day it is.
I was so worried because I was like, I haven't read it. I was like, oh no.
I was like, yeah, no, it's the week after that, but no, that's still it's still October. So we'll figure out what we're doing then. We'll probably bring in a culture pop, and then the week after that, so 3 weeks, we'll have God Loves Man Kills. So
because yeah, I definitely need to read that. I haven't even touched it. So
have you ever read it?
I think I read it in college.
Okay.
So it's been a hot minute. So I remember that first page, but not a lot else. So and Andy, yes, sir. I am so sorry for just dropping the ball on this. I would still love to work with you on this project, so I'll get with you in the DMs because that would be amazing. I guess I've never had anything like had a project like this done before. So, so I'm excited, but we'll see if we can get that going. And I do apologize for the tardiness of my response, but I appreciate you being so patient, man.
Sure. Andy, just tell him that he sucks and that you're gonna kick him in the front butt if he doesn't get his shit together. How about that?
It's true. Or Andy, at the next meetup, you can just see me in person, and then we can just do it then. Either way. But all right, chat. You guys are awesome. Thank you again for all the love and support. Have a great rest of your evening. We'll see you guys Tuesday for top 5 comics of the month with Josh on Pop by Culture. And then we'll see you Friday for the weekly comic reviews for Comic Shop Conversations. Take care, guys, and have a great night.